All right, we're back. We had a little bit more of a musical interlude that I like to do, but there was a lot of good music that needed to be played. So we played Kings of Leon, and then we had Toadies, and then we had Carrie Mateen. So a couple flashbacks from about 2 weeks ago. I had to play some old music again. So that's not new stuff. But if you go to thatmusicmag.com, you will catch all the new stuff that's up there. Brenda and her team have put up a gazillion reviews and have a lot of great articles up there. But more importantly, I know you're sick of listening to me talk. We have Lovecartel here. Hi, guys.
Hey. What's up? Hey.
Wow, that was like really having sound effects for a moment there. It almost made us really high class. I liked that. That was awesome.
Almost. Let's
Can
not
you
get
do
ahead
that
of
every
ourselves.
week now? I'm going to need you. I always say that I need like a little NPC. I need to like a sound effect machine, and they won't get me one.
I'll be.
Yeah, can you just do that?
Do I have to talk to somebody around here?
You do. We're gonna have to put you in contact. So welcome. I'll let you
Thank
guys
you so much.
go ahead and introduce yourself so everybody knows who's talking tonight.
Absolutely. Hey, everybody. This is Ash, the lead singer of Lovecartel, and I'm here with
Anthony, guitar player.
And we're clearly missing a few members.
Yeah,
but,
you're missing a few.
But the better half is here. I can tell you that much.
Good, and we're gonna make
So
fun
that's
of the
what
rest. So that's
we're
really
totally going in on them.
yeah. Who's missing?
So Matty Chernoff, I know he's easily listening out there. That's our drummer.
Okay.
And Wes Cole is our bassist, and he's MIA tonight too. Unfortunately, we still got to hold down day jobs. So I guess, or in this
I know.
event,
Doesn't
night
that
jobs.
suck?
Dude, it's the worst.
Right?
I don't mind working. Whatever. Gets the job done. But I'm not gonna complain if I never had to again. Is what I'm saying.
Either would I. I actually pray for the day where I win the lottery, and then I feel a little guilty because it's like you're not working for it. Then it's kind of just like given to you.
Isn't there like a Gandhi quote out there, like wealth without work or something like
Right,
that?
yeah, there is absolutely a
How
Gandhi
apropos.
quote right there. But I feel like
What
I've
did
put
Gandhi
in
know?
38 years. At this point, it's like good. I
True.
could just move on with
Yeah, there
my
comes
life.
a point where you've earned it.
So I'm saying I've earned the lottery.
I'm with you.
Right?
I'm with-
Do I play the lottery? That's a great question. I do play occasionally. I like the scratch-offs because I feel like they're safe. I know it's ridiculous.
It's like the slot machines in the.
But I feel very intimidated when I have to pay the numbers. If you go play like Big Four or whatever, I never really know what to do. I'm kind of just like,
automatic
here's
that.
4 numbers and do
Yeah.
whatever. But like, do you ever see those people like lottery fanatics that are like
They got a
go
whole
up?
system. It's insane.
They have a system that's crazy. I don't understand the terminology. I'm completely intimidated. It's like when I go to Atlantic City or to like Sugar House or whatever, and I go to the tables and I pretend that I know what I'm doing because like blackjack on your computer is really easy. But you get to the table, right? You get to the table and you're like, I just like freeze completely. I can't do it.
I know better than to stay out of those casinos. They prey on people like me because I walk in there thinking I know what the hell I'm doing and leave there absolutely convinced I know nothing, and they have my money to go to prove it.
Do you play the tables or are you a slot guy?
Yeah. Well, I'm smartening up and realizing no matter what I play, I have the same chance of winning, probably a 0 and none.
Right.
But I used to play, like, when I was younger, I had a buddy who's like a shark, and he's Mr. Gambler. But like before he knew what he was doing, we tried to develop this system to take down the house like we were smart, and we used to play roulette all the time. Right. And I won't bore you with the strategy, but it clearly did not work. So
yeah,
I learned my lesson.
I don't really need to hear it. If it didn't work.
So scratch-offs seem as good a bet as me as anything.
All right. So, all right. Well, have you been to Sugar House yet? Because that's like right around the corner.
I try to keep my vices to a minimum, so I haven't been. I think I was in there one time to get some Chinese food, of all things. It was like 3 in the morning, and it was the only place around, I think, at the time, or we were too drunk to drive somewhere, so we had to walk. And that's what happened.
And you ended up at Sugar House.
That's what I did. Yeah.
That could actually be turned into a really great story at one point when you need to pull it out of the arsenal. You could really make that into something special.
Yeah.
So you guys are one of the reasons we wanted to have you on the show tonight is that this weekend you're actually going to be performing at the Jersey Shore Music Festival, which we're going to be covering. Awesome. So you're performing Saturday, is that right?
Yeah, we're playing 8:30 at the Aztec inside at the Aztec.
Are you excited about this?
Yeah, we're super hype.
Are you going for the whole 3 days, or are you just going down for
Well,
Saturday?
we got a really busy weekend, and I feel so blessed. Saturday morning, we're playing the 9th Street Italian Festival at Connie's.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll be down there at 2 o'clock, and then we quick pack up. and then rush up to North Jersey.
Wait a second.
We got to get the shape up. You know the what's it, the Jersey Shore
You're
shape?
performing at 2 in South Philly, and what time?
8:30.
Wow.
Yeah, we'll make it. We'll make it happen.
And
We're
you're
taking the
fitting
Learjet.
You're fitting in the shape ups.
No,
in the
dude,
middle.
totally being facetious. I just I was online looking at the venue the other night, and it looks really rad. But I did notice a lot of snooky going on. You know?
GTL,
yes,
baby.
for real.
GTL.
I think I'm gonna be out of my element a little bit.
I don't know. You kind of have the South Philly accent, which is pretty
would make
much
sense,
like
but-
the. Not that it's a bad
I got
thing.
you,
I
yeah.
appreciate it.
Yeah, yeah.
I actually have
John.
Yeah.
Should I say
right.
it? You.
You're from Philly, I take it.
I've been in and out of the city my whole life. I'm mostly from the suburbs, but my stepfamily's down here, and I've been down here for the better part of off and on for 10 years. So, and we're in South Philly, so I think it like rubs off on you at some point.
It does rub off on you. What about you? Are you from Philly?
Straight up suburbs.
Straight up suburbs. You're not even trying to hide it. Like Bucks County suburbs?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, we're
Because
from Bucks.
every musician comes from Bucks County. I would just like to, they really do. Like,
about Doylestown.
they're-
There's something
we
about
talk
Doylestown.
about it all the
Yeah.
time. That for some, I don't know what you guys put in the water in the Bucks County. Dan is also from that area.
Oh, here's
We know
going in.
so many bands and musicians
Yeah.
that we have on here have come out of that area. I know you're
Yeah.
very proud of this fact.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Montgomery.
Well, technically, yeah, we're on the. Hold on.
Oh.
We literally live on the county line. It was Main Street in Telford is the difference between. Yeah, people are like, where the hell is Telford?
I know where Telford
I
is.
did? Oh,
Yeah.
well, you'd be one of 4 people that
Yeah.
does Souderton.
Satterton.
Yeah.
I know where Satterton
okay.
is.
Yeah.
I lived in
Of course you do. Who
Pennsburg.
doesn't know it? Oh,
Like,
dude, East Greenville.
yeah.
Yes.
Right,
See,
for
there
like
it is.
a brief.
I lived in the Village. Do you know that place?
I do know
It's-
the Village.
Yeah, it's regrettable at times, but it's come up over the years. It's good time.
But we talk often about South Jersey
Yeah.
and Bucks County being two of the areas where it seems like a bulk of musicians are really coming from.
Yeah.
And that's exciting and that's really great because, I mean, I don't love Jersey, but I think that it's awesome that we have so much talent coming out of that area. And, Bucks County,
It's
you
just-
represent.
Yeah, we rep it hard. So you said you're a little bit past Doylestown, like up a little bit north.
Yeah.
Dan wants to know if you fall into his radius.
Yeah,
Basically,
yeah.
that's why he's asking these questions.
I played soccer for Bucks County,
Okay.
Oh, that
All right.
counts.
so I feel like I'm part your blood.
All right, we'll accept you.
We were Satterton kids, but then Tone went up to Emmaus, right? Your people from up there. Macungie. Oh, I don't want to get this twisted.
I know actually where Macungie is.
But,
as well. Are the other two guys from the area?
So he's a New Jerusalem guy. He's Jersey.
Uh-huh.
And Wes is from Satterton too. Matter of fact, he's the mayor of Satterton, is what we call him. He might as well be.
I live in Ridley Park now, though.
Okay.
So you're out of that area.
Delco.
We got the whole spectrum covered.
I'm by the airport, you know.
Oh, so you're in a
represent.
totally different world now.
Yeah.
You're almost a city boy at this
Yeah.
point, right?
Yeah.
So tell me, did you guys go to school together? How did you all meet?
Yeah, we actually did go to school together, ironically enough, and we only knew each other insofar as that we used to play ball on the courts, and I had a big ball squad.
By ball, you mean basketball?
Yeah,
right?
yep. And
Not soccer, because he mentioned
yeah.
that. I just want to clarify.
Right. But this quiet, tall kid would always show up and just house everybody, and I didn't know him, and I didn't think much of it at the time, except for we were just really like loud, obnoxious street kids, if you would.
Right.
And he was so quiet and humble, and he would just house everybody on the courts, do his thing, and leave, and never really thought twice about it. Then fast forward, I don't know, 10 years maybe, and I started dating my now wife, and he ended up marrying my wife's sister.
Oh, shut up.
Yeah.
So you guys are brother-in-law?
Yeah. Were. Yeah. And
That ended.
Oh.
but it's all good. Like
Yeah.
love has reconstituted in other
Oh, it
forms.
does. Okay,
Yes,
great,
yeah.
great.
So but we
That was just
stay
so awkward. For like 10 seconds, I did not know what to do.
Dude, I'm gonna I love you, Lori, and
Engaged now to
yeah,
a beautiful woman.
Okay.
Lori.
Yeah, so it's all good. Everybody's
Lori.
happy in the whole spectrum. Everybody's happy all the way across. So it's all good.
Good.
But I still consider him my brother because we've been down for so long.
That's awesome.
And,
That's actually a really great story.
yeah,
When
so-
are you getting married?
September 15.
Yeah, it's coming up, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of exciting. And how long have you been married?
17 years, I think, at this point. Oh wait, you said how long? I think
Yeah.
how long does it feel? I've been. No, I just
No, I say the same thing.
Yeah, no. Holy shit! I just under 2 years, right? Let me do the math. Dude, just when you find yourself in a hole, just stop digging, is what they say, right?
You really do. You're just go for as long as
Listen,
life.
No more
brings-
domestic questions because this is going to end bad if I leave here.
I didn't start it. Just for the
Yeah,
record.
no, I know. No,
Just
no.
for
Do
the
you
record.
remember the date of your anniversary?
I do. 8412. Yeah. See, there you, but yeah, I had that shit
Listen,
tattooed on the inside of my
I'm
eyeball.
Totally
There you
change
go.
the subject. No
Yeah.
segue. No nothing. We
412.
Yeah.
What was that?
8412. That's how I always remember the
There
four,
you
the
go.
four
There you
digits.
go.
Yeah.
In September of last year, we
Yeah.
actually did an article on you guys on the website on thatmusicmag.com, and the quote you have it on your website, and I really think it's a great
awesome.
quote, and I think it needs to be mentioned again. Every so often, like Haley's comment, there is a band that lights the sky so brilliantly. Lovecartel's Battle Scars is that comet, sprouting from the post-punk indie rock soil and blossoming into something all their own. Lovecartel is a band to watch. That's a pretty stellar review right
That's
there.
amazing. It was amazing. When I first read it, I remember I just like I turned to Jess, my beautiful wife, and
Good man.
and she's like just I was grin to grin. She's like, "What's up? What's up? Like, what are you all happy about?" I was like, "Dude, check this out. This is amazing." Because it was the first review that had come through, and I was just so humbled by it. And again, we kind of talked about it off air. Like I had grown up reading Origination, like
Yep.
for years and years, and we're humble cats, and like just the fact that this magazine that I had always admired from afar, would give such a glowing review, we were super appreciative to say the least.
And I will say that we have tough writers that they don't use or write reviews like that easily. They really listen to it. They take pride in what they do. And so everything that they write is very honest. And I trust their reviews a lot. And this was your debut album, correct?
Yeah.
As a band.
Yep.
When did it actually get released? Was it September? Was that?
Technically, it was up to the world in actually April accidentally because they instead of a 9 there was a
Accident-
4 on the
Oh, shut up.
Yeah, so iTunes put it up in April, but
Right.
we didn't advertise it. And we set like an official kind of unofficial release date for September. So I guess if you're being technical about it, like
was
call me out on it if it was April. But
April.
yeah.
We'll go with September.
Yeah.
That's
5
fine.
months ahead of time?
Well, yeah, if you see the 9 without the 4, so like when we showed up, we were like,
wow.
It totally happens. Like this stuff like that happens all the time. But
The
so in
internet.
September it was officially released, debut album.
Yeah.
Had you done anything prior to that? Any EPs or singles that were released, or was this really the first?
Narco Lolo.
What's
He
Narco
knew he was
Lolo?
gonna fit it in there. Do you want to take it? All right. So we 3/4 of the band now. We used to be in a band called Narco Lolo back in 07
Okay.
through I don't know 11 or something like 10, 11.
Was that punk?
No, it was very funky Chili Peppers kind of thing going on there with our own derivation of it on it. We had released two or three EPs at that point, and then kind of just we were doing some cool things, and then as bands go, life kind of took people in different directions.
Yeah.
We kind of fell back, and then for all intents and purposes, I wasn't sure what was going to become of my musical career at that point. I mean, and it sounds cliche, but I was like, dude, is it over? Is it over?
Yeah.
But I ended up sitting down and just kind of sitting at the guitar myself, started writing these songs. Tone was kind of getting himself in his space back in his, good state of mind type thing. So long and tall of it is, after a few months, I recognized I saw the makings of an album coming on, and I knew like this was the most honest and real music that I had ever written at that point. And it took long enough for me to find my own voice too. Like you can listen back to the old stuff, and clearly there's like a young kid on there that probably didn't know his ass from a hole in the ground.
Everybody needs to go through that evolution.
you stumble forward.
And you were from Saueraker.
This is true, so you have to give me a little bit of a pass. So we ended up, myself and Ant went in the studio up the street here at Cedar Street with Ted Richardson, cut the album with some Monster Session cats, and then constituted the live band. And those guys have just integrated incredibly, and they brought the album to life amazingly. Maddie and Wes have. So that's kind of where the state of things are at. So yes, it was a debut album. Wes was in Narco Lolo with us, so technically we sort of did something earlier.
Right, but
Lovecartel sort of in some other fashion did, but not as Lovecartel, if you will.
I want to give everybody an opportunity to hear the music
Oh, yeah.
because we're going to talk about that a lot. So I have the CD, right? This is the whole thing.
Yeah.
What would be like a great first song to number one? All right.
In Between Chaos and Sleep.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and play that. Give everybody a chance to listen and get their feedback on it. Then when we come back, we're going to ask you guys the question of the night, which is...
Indie flicks?
Yeah, what's your favorite... Do you know
You're going
all
to get them
of
on
them?
a tangent.
What's
This
your
is
favorite
man.
cult classic movie? That's really the question. We'll answer that when we get back. Let's play some music so we can get everybody to hear you. This is In Between Chaos and Sleep. We'll be back in just a moment.
So welcome star. She's all close, right yes, I'm floating through a window into my soul. I'm alive yet again. I just might be dead. Victim of a lucid love for anything more than this. Come on. She's all close, right yes, I'm floating through a window into my soul. My eyes are wide shut and your lies. Maybe you're like I. Baby, if you love me, won't you let me know? And I will never ever let you go. Baby, if you don't, won't you tell me so? And I will have my sheets all closed, right yes, I'm floating through a window into my soul. Hey! Hey! Yeah!
Tyler?
All right, we're talking right now about our favorite cult classic films because we always got to ask the bands their question of the night. So we need your answers now. What is it?
Lost Highway by David Lynch.
Lost Highway, David Lynch. I don't know that one either. Do I have to watch it? Is it good?
It's a movie that you don't ever have your footing. Like, you never really know what's going on. And when the movie's over, you still don't know what's going on.
Interesting. I'm going to have to check that out. Lost Highway. All right, Ash, we need your answer.
We got Maddie on the phone.
Oh, hi, Maddie. That's the drummer, correct?
We need to bring him in on this.
Let's bring him in.
He specifically called me to said, I need to get in on this conversation.
Hi, Maddie.
Maddie, say hi.
Hi, this is really weird because I'm listening while talking and it's just not lining up at all.
Well,
Run a 26
dummy, you got to
second
turn
delay.
off the feed.
Yeah.
I don't
It's
know
about
how
a
to,
30-second
man. This is so
delay.
confusing.
All right, well, try your best, buddy. You can drum
Yeah,
together. You can
favorite
get
cult classic movie, Usual Suspects.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Is that a cult classic? I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I don't. I don't have the technical definition of cult classic.
Doesn't
Usual
mean you-
Suspects is, I feel like, another one of those movies that went a little mainstream. Yeah, it's like Pulp Fiction. Like they might have been cult classics in the beginning.
Yeah.
And then they get a little popular, but it's a great movie. Because I said the same thing. What did I say? Singles at first?
Right.
Yeah,
right.
which Singles is another one of those movies that at the time no one knew what it was, and then it gets really popular. You
Yeah.
know? Because they come around again. But that's a great answer. I love that movie. We're sorry you're not here
thank
tonight.
you.
Should,
And if you ever say that you figured out that ending, you are a liar, stone cold liar.
To Usual Suspects?
Yes.
Yeah, everybody tonight, is going to be watching that movie and trying to figure out the answer and posting it on your Facebook page going forward.
Yo, I hope they troll the shit out of you for that.
Yeah, they really are going to, because there's a lot of smart asses in this world
Yeah.
that think
That's
they
funny.
have that all figured out.
He is mad. Yo, Matt, you got anything else you want to say before we let you fly, brother?
Negative. Have a good night.
All right,
Thanks,
buddy.
Matty.
Thanks for calling in, bro.
Bye, man.
Yeah, man.
Later, dude. If
That was really great for him to call in.
yeah, that was what's up. He's a good guy. And if Wes is out there, I don't know if he's got an answer to this. He can call in too.
We need your answer.
Oh yeah, so I'm terrible with this, but I think most of my movies started out as cult classics or cult films, and then they ended up being really mainstream, and everybody's like, that's so predictable. But it would be like Requiem for a Dream. That's a good one. I think like if you could consider Pulp Fiction, like
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh, I only get one if I got to
You want
commit.
to give a list? Is that what you're trying
Yes.
to do?
These are my
Can I
top
just tell you,
five.
If you give me an inch, I'll take a mile.
A funny story. The one time my mother called me and we were just chatting on the phone, and I asked her what she was doing, and she said, "Oh, I don't know. This really great movie just looks like it came on TV. It's called Requiem for a Dream. It sounds like it's going to be amazing. I'm going to watch it." I was like, "You do that, Mom.
Yeah.
Call me in a couple hours and we'll chat." I wanted to see what happened to her. She hated it.
It's
for the
pretty
record.
wicked. I think that's where I
Start doing speed and vacuuming the house.
right.
She did it. She did it.
What's
That
the-
would've been great.
What's the saying that goes on in that one again? In the game show. No,
Oh,
no. I forget. Somebody
I
out there is
forget.
like screaming at their be excited. yeah. So that's it. I'm committing to that one just for that alone.
All right, it's a good answer. Let's talk a little bit about the song that we just heard.
Okay,
too,
cool.
because I always love to get everybody's take on their music. So the song we listened to, In Between Chaos and Sleep, what is it about?
So it's a song that I wrote, and I always think of like Paul McCartney does this a lot. And believe me, I am not comparing myself to Paul McCartney, but I always hear him talking about, I wrote this song in my dream, this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
And so it's a song about the literal song came to me in that stage between being asleep and half awake. And I always say there's something that happens when you're in that stage, at least for me, that things seem so visceral. They seem so like, I don't know, it's so much more alive. Like I'll go to sleep with music every night in my ears. And sometimes when I wake up and I'm not fully awake, I'll hear an album that I've listened to 1,000 times, but I hear it in a totally different way, and it's alive.
This somehow turned into be like this great segue from Requiem from of a
Oh, there it
Dream.
is.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean? It
yeah,
really
exactly.
did.
So, but it is literally about that space between the chaos of life that can be, and then sleep and this kind of visceral peace. But then the double entendre there is just it's the beginning line, which is in between being awake and in between being asleep and wake, there's a place for broken hearts. So it's for everybody who is pushing. It feels like sometimes they're pushing on a rope and really like grinding it out, but it seems like you're never going to get there type thing. So it's kind of a hopeful song in that regard, I guess. So it's kind of about just keeping at it, man. There's a place for your dreams and all that jazz.
Do you write most of the music?
I do most of it.
Ash writes all the
You done? You write all the music?
No, that wouldn't be fair.
mastermind of Lovecartel.
That wouldn't be fair to say that.
What happens? What was the transition like from the former band when it was the 3 out of 4 to this new? How did your music kind of evolve and change? How did you feel like it grew?
One as a person, like emotionally, I grew as a person. You're not like the truth be told is the last band ended under Vices.
Yeah,
pretty much.
sure.
You know what I mean? So it's a different like fast lane kind of that kind of lane. And then when we pulled back, I don't want to say there's a maturity about it, but I grew as a musician myself in that time, and there's a kind of like a solemn state you go through, and then you come out of it, and it's more hopeful in the end. So the last band was much more just up in your ass, like hype, type thing. And
Up in your ass.
Get in the ass,
You
Larry.
said earlier you were like the long and tall of it, and I never heard that expression before. And up
Blame
in
it
the
on my
ass is
dad.
another one
Blame
that I've
it on
never
my
heard
dad.
before.
He's a cliche book, and I got them all. Like, keep going, but so the difference is that music was definitely written from a 4-piece standpoint, and at least Battle Scars, not to take credit from everybody else's contributions of it. The bulk of it I wrote for myself. So I guess there's more of me in this album than there was in the previous album. But what I can say is if you enjoy Battle Scars, which I'm really proud of, and I think it's an awesome album, and Ant's on there, and we had some, again, some great session guys. You're gonna love what's coming down the pike, because when with Matt's contribution and Ant really stepping up and putting his touch back on it, and Wes, the new stuff is just fire. I'd like to believe, with humility, I guess. So while I still come to the band with most of the ideas, a lot of the times, like just to have their musicianship behind me, as opposed, it's different. Anybody in a band will tell you, working with session guys, it's a lot different than working with a 4-piece that you're like brothers with.
Yeah,
So,
I was going to ask about that, because you come from this band where the 4 of you were doing is what you described as like Red Hot Chili Peppers music, right?
Yeah.
And then you go into a studio essentially, and you're working with session musicians.
Yeah.
Did you find that difficult? Because I would think that would be more challenging almost, because you don't have a relationship with them. You're just
They were awesome though.
were they?
Yeah, like they're just pros among pros. I always shout them out whenever I get a chance, because without them, Battle Scars wouldn't have been what it is. And all credit due to Ted as well, like up at Cedar Street, Richardson.
Yeah.
I mean, he was great to work with as well, because he's a visionary. Not to make it too dramatic, but he's awesome, and he helped me bring my ideas to life. So I tracked all these scratch ideas at home in my own little studio. Then we went in there and we built up, and then just from him being a veteran, we got to learn each other, and he recognized my personality, and then matched me with these amazing session players. So we ended up having Darren Keith from Tiva do the drums. This guy's just a beast. And then Brady Watt, who's Twalib Kweli's bassist.
Yep.
He did the bass on the album. So the other thing is that I always try to infuse my love of, like, I grew up on like 90s hip hop.
Yeah.
And rock. So there's like a swag that I always try to, I'm not purposeful about anything, but I want to bring it across, because that's how I genuinely feel.
Yeah.
So it was good that I got these dudes who understood soul. And then a lot of times people will comment on the album, the horns. Now, we don't have horns in the band full time, but it was one of those things where I wanted to, again, put that at like 70s soul. Like, I just love music, well, that has soul, I guess. So I'm like a big fan of, like, Al Green, Marvin Gaye, all that stuff.
Yep.
So the guys that did the horns on it were, experienced session players. They've been around for years and years. And Bobby Michaels and those guys, Gary McKean and Tony Bethel. So I always like to shout them out too, because they did such a good part. So the combination, to answer your question, was I was scared about working with session players, because one, you're on the clock, it's money, it's all that stuff. But I guess it could have went either way, but it ended up working out beautifully.
That's good.
Yeah, and I remember when we first started, Ted made it clear to me, like, I just want to tell you, I've done this enough. You're going to come in here with these concrete ideas that you think you have.
That's why that's what happens with musicians. You hear the album in your head.
And they said, but that being said, you have to be flexible.
Yeah.
Like, because what you hear in your head will get close, but as the process is, it's such that you'll formulate new things as you move along. And that's exactly what happened. And now I listen back to my demos, and they're cute.
They're cute.
They're cute. So but with and again, I'm very proud of what came out, and I have all those guys to thank for that.
So then what happens? Like, you have this transition now from band one to the studio session. Now you have to do it live.
Right.
What was that like? Finally hearing this album played with the musicians that were going to carry it out live.
Yeah, it's crazy, because we probably did this ass backwards, and we wrote an album before we even had a band. Like, I wrote an album before the band. But at the time I knew I wasn't done with music, and I didn't have a lot of choices, so I had to do it that way. The one thing that the session musicians did is they set the bar pretty high, right?
Yeah.
So it has been in the beginning, it was tough to find the right players, and ironically enough, we ended up going back to Wes because we had talked with other bassists and so forth and so on. But Wes is such a monster. Like he's just I just call him Funk Dr. Spock. Like he's just badass. And so I knew he could handle Brady's parts. Brady's he's a professional. Literally, he's a literal professional. So he sets the bar high. But so it's ironic. I came full circle and came back to Wes, which was a great decision because I knew he could do it. And he actually Maddie came beforehand, and Maddie, we did the whole Craigslist thing, and I feel bad that he had parted ways from his prior band. You never want to see that happen, but it was one band's loss was our win.
Yeah.
So he hit us up online and like was real emphatic. I think he might even have lied to us to get like an interview or something, right? Then I think he threw something.
Maddie.
I remember thinking he bullshit us on something, but I appreciated it because he was really passionate about the music. So he came in and he knew he did his part. He knew the album and he put his own personality onto it. But a lot of times when you're trying out musicians, I got a big gripe with certain musicians that they're jaded or they feel like, oh, I don't have to, not even entitled, but they're like, I'm so good, I don't have to learn this, or whatever. And I've had that in auditions before. And again, not to sound like a maniacal prick or anything like that, but you just want somebody to know your music,
Sure.
and the changes and stuff. And a lot of guys are just shooting from the hip, and when they pull it off, I guess that's cool. But we found that the few people we had talked to weren't really committed to the point of like, dude, don't waste our time type thing. Like if you don't know the music, we're not gonna get very far.
Yeah.
But Maddie came in and just knew it in and out, and I was like, dude, my man wants it.
With a band, you have to create some kind. There has to be you have to gel, or it will never work.
I say it all the time. It's like dating three other people.
It really is, and you all have to be in the same place at the same time and have the same vision and the same goals, and that's challenging sometimes.
And a lot of respect for each other too, because if they're not even going to take the time to learn your music, what's to say that they're going to even be in this thing for that long?
They have to love the music too. You can't play stuff you hate.
Yeah,
so that's a lot of pressure on you. You got to write stuff that these other band members are going to like.
Yeah,
and want to contribute to in their own
right.
life.
And I think it's like a mutual relationship of faith. Like like I literally wake up. I know this again with these cliches that I'm kicking out, but like,
no, I like it. I'm like starting to
no,
learn
but
dictionary.
Yeah, exactly. But no, like, there's not a day that goes by that I don't think about like how much trust those three are putting in me. Like they could be in any band they want.
Sure.
They don't have to be in Lovecartel. But I really am humbled by the fact that like they're like, hey man, we got faith in you because like truth be told is I struggled with insecurity as a musician for years and years. I had petrifying stage fright.
Yeah.
It kind of paralyzed our growth early on. I always feel like, we'd have been so much further along. But that's character building stuff.
Barbara Streisand is like the worst, guilty of stage fright more than
wow.
She to the point where it was paralyzing, and she didn't go on stage for almost 20 years.
Wow.
And no, I don't think a lot of people realize that. And she just recently, I would say within the last 5 years or so, started going back on stage.
Wow.
She couldn't do it. She was terrified.
I saw her in an interview the other day, and I said to my wife, I was like, wow, she looks really good. My wife, she's like, well, when you pull your face back that far, you can be like, and I was like, oh, okay, I don't know, but I thought she looked, rather good, but that, they got the super bright lights with the perfect angle and all that stuff. Anyway, shouts out to Barbara Streisand.
Guilt Trip wasn't that bad. That was one of her.
Oh,
latest
with
movies.
What's his face?
Seth Rogen.
I just watched it. It's actually really funny.
Yeah.
Really?
She plays his mother, and they go on a road trip because he wants to meet his real father. And they drive cross country, and she plays like the stereotypical Jewish mom, and she's hysterical. At one point, she eats a steak that's 10 pounds or something. It was it was really funny actually. Let's go into another track. Let's hear some more music. What's a good one to play next?
Throw on Tattooed Ambulance. I think it might even be number 2 on the album.
I like the fact that you're going in order. It means you put thought to the order on the album.
Yeah,
right?
it was intended, but you could pull from any song, but that's a good one. That's a good one.
All right, let's listen to Tattooed Ambulance. Again, this is off of the album from Lovecartel called Battle Scars. What's your website really quick, just in case anybody wants to go check it out?
Yeah, for sure. It's lovecartelmusic.com, and then of course we have the Facebook /Lovecartel.
Okay, let's get into this music. When we come back, we'll talk about this track, and then we're going to talk a little bit more about the band and get their thoughts on the Jay-Z Solange battle.
Oh, snap. That's cool.
I'm trying to get the right tune.
All right, we're back. So we just got a chance to listen to Tattooed Ambulance. Again, we have Lovecartel here. That's off the album Battle Scars. Where can folks get the album on your website?
Yes. Yes, the short answer is yes. You could download it. I think it's on iTunes, Amazon, all that stuff. It's also on Bandcamp, I think under the pay what you want model.
Right. Which means pay people. Let the dollar circulate. That gets me really angry, but
yeah, it's a new world out there. It is. It's different.
It can be free if you want it.
Yeah, it's all good. And we would rather you have the music than not if you had to make a hard choice.
Come out to a show. Come out to a show, buy a shirt.
Speaking of which, we know you're playing Saturday in Seaside Heights. I will be there for your show,
Awesome.
actually. Where else are you performing? Anything else coming up? Any dates?
Yeah, definitely. So we also have the Italian Fest at 2 o'clock on Saturday, and then
on 9th Street.
on 9th Street in South Philly at Connie's. And then Sunday we head up to Long Branch and play Brighton Bar, which is this cool old punk venue. It's really dope. And then we have a really special gig coming up at TLA on June 4th.
Okay.
And we would love to see new people out. Anyway, it's just like a big, you could say a dream come true, but it's like we've saw some of our most favorite artists play that stage, and we have yet to play it, so we're pretty hyped about that.
Are you headlining at the TLA?
I don't want to say that because I don't want to undermine
sharing
everybody
the
else.
stage.
Yeah, we got selected by Raw Artists in a national kind of competition thing. So I think we're billed as the musical headliner, but that's not, we don't titles, schmitles,
Who else is on the bill? Do you know?
There's like 30 other artists, and if you've ever been to a Raw show, there's 2 other musical artists, and I am so sorry I'm forgetting their names.
We'll look it up.
But the thing that's really dope about those shows is it's a whole production. It's like fashion, hair, makeup, performance art, dance. And they do this really amazing thing, and I think we're going to end up being close to closing out the night or whatever. Because I think we're the only band that's, the whole thing, the whole shebang.
That's really cool. And the TLA, that is like a dream if you're from Philly to see your name on that marquee. Like everybody wants to see that moment.
I live 2 blocks from it, and I walk past it, so it's really cool because I spent the last couple years walking under there and be like, someday we're gonna get there. And
there you go.
So
that's June 4th, you said, right?
Yeah, and then. After that, we have a really cool gig at Finnegan's Wake. I heard you talking about the Liberty Fest earlier today. Yeah, I guess if you know anybody who knows anybody, we're in the running for that.
I might know somebody.
I don't know. But we got that. I think that's with Gravity Given Productions. Those guys. It was pretty cool. And a bunch. They're all on the website, so we're around. We would love to see old and new faces alike. So come check us out, man. We're super friendly and. I think it's a pretty good show too. I'm
actually checking out the Raw event right now just to see who else is going to be there, so we can mention them.
For sure.
And there's so much going on this website that I can't even really figure it out. But they have you like kind of featured as a musical act. And then it should bring all the artists. It's just really like. It's so crazy. There's so much. It's awesome because, like you said, there's like 30 people, but I can't figure out who's music and who's not. But it doesn't matter. Maria Papadakis, I think that's how you say her last name. She's hosting. And she's awesome.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it.
And then DJ Kali Ma is actually going to be there as well. So that's June 4th. That'll be really cool. This Saturday, again, you're down at Seaside. All right, let's talk about the last song that we just heard a little bit, too. So that song was called Tattooed Ambulance. What was that about?
Yeah. So it's when I look back on my life, I guess I've avoided commitment a lot up until which is ironic.
Yeah, I was going to say, are you married?
Yes, but that's the amazing power of my beautiful wife. Like she managed to tame the tiger. You know what I mean? No, but it's true. It's so true because it really is ironic. But a lot of people think, or I've heard. That's they think the songs are one thing, and then actually I know that they're totally different, and I think a lot of musicians do that.
Sure.
But I look at the tattoos that I have, a few of them, and they're symbolic of like the very few things in my life that I've actually like committed to, and I you have a few beers or whatever your indulgence, you sit back and you look at your arm, you're like, what the fuck did I put on my arm?
Yeah.
but which is cool because like I have music tattoos and one of my buddies that passed on and so forth and all these things. Mm-hmm. But it's really a song about overcoming the fear of commitment. So that's kind of what it is. And the tattoo's just emblematic of commitment. That's all.
And the cool thing is listening to the song, you're not going to get that. Like most bands out there, you would probably enjoy listening to storytelling about songs, but I think Lovecartel is, I don't even know what all the songs are about because I have my own vision of what they are, but whenever I hear him describe a song, it's never what I think. So I mean that's a good artist.
Yeah, I was just going to say that really speaks to your lyric writing ability.
No, thank you.
Because to have people be able to develop their own interpretations, I would think is the goal that artists want.
Yeah.
You want to be able to
Absolutely.
create something that means something to everyone and have it still have meaning to you. Yeah. So I think that really does, say something about your ability to write.
Yeah.
Do you write?
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I think a truism, I think something that's true for artists is that like whether it's painting or whatever it might be. I think a job of an artist is to ask the question, not give the answer. You know what I mean?
Such a great way to put it. Yeah. Absolutely.
So, that's it. But there's nothing wrong with, I love obvious music too, some of the stuff, like whatever it might be. We all have guilty. Yeah, we all are guilty pleasures, Yeah. So, not to knock anybody. I mean, if you're creating art, you're okay in my book.
That was a question of the night one time, and that was like, what's your guilty pleasure song that you would not want anybody to know that you listen to? I won't ask you because we already did that to you, but there was some interesting answers. I think somebody said Backstreet Boys. They were trying to tell me that one of the bands was like saying that's
not a guilty pleasure.
Backstreet Boys?
Let's just do it. Like, what's the one you were like, the teeny bop chick.
I know.
Never mind.
Miley?
No.
Although I ain't gonna lie,
Selena
Party in the
Gomez?
USA is.
Every single teeny.
The Friday chick?
Yeah, that's it.
Call Me Maybe?
Call Me Maybe.
Yeah.
Good song.
It was a good song. I got to give you that. What's yours?
Mine is I don't. Every time I'm in the car and I like start singing it to myself. It's ridiculous, but it's like. Rihanna's Only Girl in the World.
Yeah.
Like, I have no idea why, like, I'm screaming that song at the top of my lungs in my car. But,
do the same
dude, that's the shit, dude. I'm like, I just get in touch with my inner feminine side on that one,
I really think that Lovecartel needs to do covers of these songs at their next live show. Like, that would, to do Call Me Maybe, like a funked out version.
That'd be awesome.
Awesome.
I know. I've actually suggested covering Man Down by Rihanna, but it doesn't have the same curb appeal as like something like that, but we could do it.
That would be really great. I always think it's great when a band like just throws in like a like a monkey wrench into their set, something
totally
like
random.
I love it. Where did the name come from? I didn't ask that yet. I'm really curious about that. Lovecartel.
Yeah, no doubt. It came from me, like a lot, but the idea behind Lovecartel is I was a social justice advocate. For a long time,
okay.
And so I try to keep the politics to a minimum in the music, but there is, there's definitely an undercurrent of that runs through me as a person and all that stuff. So, Lovecartel, the idea basically is that like when you think of a cartel, you just think of this like brutal, kind of violent, kind of just this entity, this overbearing entity that doesn't want
the family.
Right, exactly. So Lovecartel is the equal and opposite reaction to that. It's like I forget I'm gonna butcher the saying, but it's like when the world longs for love more than it does war, it'll know peace or something like that. But it's just this idea that like. It's that old turn your cheek kind of thing where Lovecartel, it's like this overwhelming, brutal love of your enemy. Like, like where you just, So I know it gets a little philosophical and some people are like, yeah, whatever, play the next song. But that's kind of that's kind of where it's at. It's just and it's a cool visual to it. It's kind of like that old like putting the flower in the gun thing. And I'm an idealist at heart, a pragmatist in the real world, so I get that, there's limitations to that, but that's kind of where it is.
No, I think that's great, and I think that every band needs some kind of platform that's positive like that.
Yeah.
There's enough negative crap happening in the world. It's good to see people spreading the opposite of that. Even if it's in a subliminal kind of way.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Somebody just posted a picture in our chat room right now talking about guilty pleasures. It's like this death dude with like white face, star, black eyes, and in the back, Avril. Is it? It kind of looks like it could be the Crow makeup. In the back, we got Avril Lavigne
That's awesome.
poster in the back.
Yeah.
Which is that's about how guilty
Have you
pleasures
looked
do
on
it.
BuzzFeed and seen like the it's like Rihanna meet and greet and the Avril Lavigne meet and greet? Like you couldn't touch Avril Lavigne.
Oh yeah.
But Rihanna was like looking people's faces
right.
and like you could like take pictures like with your face like right next to her breast and shit. It was crazy.
I did see the headline. It was like, these people paid hundreds of dollars to take these awkward pictures with Avril Lavigne.
Yeah, what? She married the guy from Nickelback, right?
No, the guy from Good Charlotte. No. She's divorced. Yeah, she married Chad Kroger.
Nickelback.
Yeah.
And you know how much fun I make. Yeah.
It was Sum 41.
Some 41,
Derek, right? Or was it Derek?
What about fans? Do you have any like really great fan stories? Something that happened like that is unique that you'd love to share?
Those shall remain in the vault. No.
Yeah,
no, like we're nothing too out of the ordinary just yet. We have some really cool and rabid fans.
We played this outdoor thing for like the March Against
Corruption.
Against Corruption, and it was really cool because had like this 9-year-old come up to me and want us to sign the CD. He's never heard us, and he was moved by our performance. That was cool.
No, that's a good story.
Right.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's
and then he
for life.
did a line of Blow right after and was like, no, just kidding. I just had to take it there, right? Yeah, I had to take
it. It was like getting too savvy sweet, right?
No, but Tony's such a sweetheart. That's why, like, that's his personality right there. He's like, yeah, I appreciate this little 9-year-old kid, which is cool. He's really awesome.
You get a fan though sucked in at 9 years old. They literally
it's like
are
smokers.
Fans for life. That's true.
We're the cigarettes of the music industry
forever.
So when fans listen to Battle Scars, like, what do you want them to get out of it?
It's a great question. I always think like there's two compliments in music, of course, that just are the to be desired, I guess, as an artist. The one is, I always say, the ride factor. Like, that's like the penultimate compliment. If you can put a CD on from 1 to 12 or whatever, 1 to 10 or whatever, and just let it go straight, like, that's just an awesome album. That, of course, would be great. But the other thing is just that it transports you into another space. You know what I mean? Like, I hope it does something. It evokes some emotion, like, whatever that may be for that person. Like we were talking about the interpretations of the songs earlier. But, I think the worst thing that any artist fears is just somebody hears your music and they go, it's, that's okay. Next.
Yeah.
It's cool.
It on when I'm mowing the lawn.
Yeah. Well, they say indifference is the opposite of love. And
Right.
I tend to really believe
Yeah,
that.
there you go.
I really feel that that's true. When people are, if they're yelling and screaming or they love it, you're getting emotion. And it's evoking emotion, that's what you want. But when people are just like, that isn't
right.
You'll never capture them. All right, we want to thank you guys so much for being here tonight.
Oh,
it was
no
great
doubt.
having you.
Absolutely.
I look forward to seeing your live performance Saturday too.
Yeah, we're gonna.
We could just finish off the whole interview.
It's gonna be
right?
awesome.
That'll be pretty amazing. I'm not really sure who we have on the show next week yet, but we'll find out soon enough. Right. And don't forget to pick up the latest hard copy edition, Volume 3 of That Mag. It is out and about in all your bars and restaurants here in Philadelphia. If you need a copy, just hit us up on Facebook. We'll make sure to get it one to you because we want everybody to have it. You can also view the digital copy online at thatmusicmag.com. Thanks to Donte, who got to join us tonight.
Thank you, buddy.
You'll be hearing more of him.
Hey.
Thanks, Dan.
Till
We're
next
glad
time.
you're alive. Dan
I'm a
had a
lowly
rough
intern.
weekend. So.
But we're living, so it's all good.
Yeah, so it's all good. I'll see you guys this weekend. Everybody have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful week. Thanks to Gas House, and we'll be back next
you.
Wednesday, same time.
Yeah.